Welcome to the fifth lesson in statistics. Today we will learn about measures of central tendency. Our goal in this lesson is to understand the measures of central tendency and apply them to different types of data. First, let's answer the question, what is a measure of central tendency? The measures of central tendency help us find a single value that best represents a dataset. The three we will be looking at in this lesson are the mean, the median, and the mode. Now you may ask yourself, why is it important? Central tendency is important because it simplifies complex data, helping us understand trends without analyzing each individual value. Instead of examining thousands of numbers, we can use a single representative value to draw conclusions. For example, in business, managers track employee performance by looking at the average monthly sales. If an employee consistently has the highest sales average, they may be rewarded. In science, researchers conduct multiple trials and experiments. Instead of reporting every trial result, they calculate the mean outcome to summarize their findings. This mean may help determine the effectiveness of a drug, the reaction time of a chemical, or the consistency of measurements. Economists use central tendency to study income distribution. The median income, for instance, helps understand how wealth is distributed in a country. If the median is much lower than the mean, it indicates that a few people earn significantly more than the rest, showing income inequality. By understanding these measures, we can interpret data more effectively and make informed decisions across different fields. Now that we know the importance, let's define and show how to calculate each of these. First, the mean is like sharing equally among friends. Imagine you and your friends have different amounts of snacks. Some have a lot, while others have only a few. To be fair and kind, you all decide to redistribute the snacks so that everyone gets the same amount. The final amount each person receives after this fair sharing is the mean. The number of friends represents the number of values in the formula, while the total number of snacks represents the sum of all values. When you divide the total number of snacks by the number of friends, you get the mean. Let's look at the following example. For the data 2, 4, 6, and 8, the mean is going to be the sum of 2, 4, 6, 8 divided by 4, which is 5. To find the mean of grouped data, we first determine the center of each interval, known as the class midpoint. Next, we multiply each class midpoint by its corresponding frequency to obtain a representative value for that interval. After that, we sum these values and divide the total by the number of frequencies to find the mean. Let's estimate the mean for the frequency table below. The median splits the data into two equal halves. To find it, first arrange the values in ascending or descending order. If the number of values is odd, the median is the middle value, with an equal number of values above and below it. If the number of values is even, the median is found by taking the mean of the two central values. Let's look at these examples. For the data 2, 4, 6, 8, and 5, which is an odd number of values, the median is 6, which is the third value. For the data 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, which is an even number of data points, the median is 5 plus 7 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. Notice the median is the same, but the data set is different. To find the median class in a grouped frequency distribution, we first calculate the cumulative frequency, which is obtained by adding successive frequencies. Then we find half of the total, and the class interval that contains this cumulative frequency value is the median class. Let's consider the following table. We can see that the cumulative frequency column has the first value 3. This 3 means that the first 3 values are included in the interval 0 to 10. The next value is 8. This means that the 4th to the 8th value is contained in the range 10 to 20. If we continue with this logic, we will notice that all 20 values exist in the range 0 to 50. Now, the total number of values that we have is 20, which is the last value in the cumulative frequency column. From this value, we can obtain the middle value, 20 divided by 2, which is 10. We can see from the cumulative frequency that the 8th value exists in the interval 10 to 20. Therefore, from 9th to 14th value exists in the interval 20 to 30. Therefore, the median class is 20 to 30. In many datasets, certain values appear more frequently than others. The mode helps us recognize this popularity. It is the value that occurs most often in the data. To find the mode, you can arrange the values in ascending or descending order, which makes it easier to identify the most frequently occurring value. However, sorting is not required. Let's consider this example. For the data 2, 2, 4, 6, 2, 8, the mode is 2, since 2 appears 3 times, which is more than any other value. The modal class is very simple and straightforward. It is the class that corresponds to the highest frequency. From this example, we see that 4 to 6 has the largest frequency, so our modal class is the interval 4 to 6. In today's lesson, we learned about measures of central tendency and their importance. We also learned how to calculate them for both grouped and ungrouped data. Thank you for joining me in this lesson. Remember, you can find this content and additional resources on the website linked in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll be happy to help. See you in the next lesson where we will discuss how to decide which central tendency to use for a given dataset.